Hey Trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Ah yes, Trackies, you have seen the title of this video. Mm, where do I even begin? Well, let's start with, Oral Tracy. So Oral Tracy has come out, me minding my business. Well, I wasn't minding my business, but anyway, popping up in my feed is Oral Tracy Elaine again. So I'm like, okay, what is this? And I take a listen. And Oral Tracy is back to his infamous fence peeping. And this time around, he has, peeped over the fence because he hasn't heard anything about Elaine, what's going on with Elaine. Well, to be fair, we haven't really heard anything going on with any of our athletes, but I suppose in particular, he wanted to know what's going on with Elaine. So he peeps over the fence and he has bad news to report that Elaine Thompson here is injured to the point where she can't train, right? And it's probably similar to what was happening with her last season where she was missing months of training, right? That is what he compared it to. But at the same time, he also went on to say towards the end of the video, which was also interesting, he doesn't know the level of the injury. So I'm like, okay, so do we think it's the same thing as last year or don't we? Like, that's, pretty much where my thoughts are with the situation, what I mean, and what he was saying. So anyway, long story short is Elaine Thompson here is apparently injured, and she, based on what he said as well, had to get a specialist into the island to get it sorted out. And also he started to go back to the past about, her regretting supposedly now leaving MVP. Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna go into that MVP nonsense because it's done and dusted already. It's over and done with. Elaine did what she felt she had to do, and it is what it is. MVPs also has taken their stance as well. It is what it is. Let's move on from that whole thing and focus on the current or the present. So the present is supposedly she is injured and she had to get a specialist into the island. She's not able to train how she wants to train, right? And clearly the season has already begun. It's outdoor season. We're already expecting to see the athletes come out. We've already seen some so far come out and they look good, and that's great. And there's a lot of talk as it relates to what Elaine will be able to do, what Shelly will be able to do, what Sherika will be able to do once they come out. So it's not great, seed March. And well, this is mid March, going in towards the end of March and hearing that Elaine can't train, right? That's definitely not a good look. I would say I did see her on online recently, so I wasn't getting that vibe that she is not able to train. But as somebody said in my comment section, looks are also deceiving, so you can never really say what's really going on based on a few posts that athletes make. So I'll say that about that. But interesting note again that he said, one, it's he's comparing it to what was going on last year with her, and last year was crazy. She wasn't able to train for months. But at the same time, he's saying, he doesn't know how serious it is. But saying that is pretty much saying, how serious it is. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, on one hand, I'm like, okay, I do, think, yeah, she probably did pick up an injury because we did hear how injury prone she was. Stephen Francis came out and said that she breaks down, once a week, once every 2 weeks kind of thing. So it was very, very frequent that she broke down. My thought process, though, when it comes to the whole specialist coming in and everything, I'm thinking that they're like, this is crunch time, this is go time. I'm focusing on being able to retain my two Olympic titles. So rather than, if and but and maybe with the local specialists that we have out here, let's go get the best of the best to deal with this because I need this fixed right now, right? I don't want to lose any more time. So I need this fixed right now. So I'll go get the best of the best to come and help me sort that out right now. That's the thought process I have as it relates to getting the specialist because again, time waits for no man. You know what I mean? Time will still be ticking the longer she stays with this injury, right? So yeah, she definitely have to get this resolved. And again, this is the Olympic year. This is the year that she wants to go ahead and try to three-peat what she did, two Olympics back to back, right? So yeah, from that perspective, I'm thinking, okay, here's the deal. we have to get this sorted out right away. So yeah, I see nothing quote unquote wrong with that as it relates to, her injury. I'm just hoping that she gets, well soon. Clearly you see my face. It's like somebody just threw a bucket of cold water over me, I swear. So it's not good news at all, hearing that she's injured. um I don't want to also get into the idea and the thought that only one person was able to do something. I don't like that narrative, because then we're gonna start up this whole MVP and Elaine thing all over again, which I don't want, because again, MVP, is MVP and Elaine is Elaine, and they're both social separate, and that's that. You know what I mean? So I don't want to, think about it from a perspective, or have us, have the narrative that only MVP was able to manage her injury. So far successfully. MVP, based on what we're hearing or we've heard, was what were the ones that were able to successfully manage it to the best of their ability. They weren't perfect as well with managing the injury. There have been years where Elaine, was, out completely. So I mean, it's never really perfect. When it comes to what's going on with Ronaldo Walcott, because these last two coaches were from MVP. So when you think about what's going on with Ronaldo Walcott as well, and the training, you'd think it would be something similar in line, kind of same philosophy kind of thing with what's going on over there with his coaching situation. So with that said, I just think, just like how when Elaine was at MVP and she broke down, it's just one of those things where she's now, training with Ronaldo Walcott and she broke down. It's just that this time around, rather than use in-house people that you probably have on your staff or local people, they're like, we don't have time to waste. We don't have no time for no nonsense. We don't have no time for no back and forth. Let's get a specialist in and get this sorted out right now, because I need to make sure that I'm able to train and get to where I need to get to, one, to try to defend my title, because I've talked about it already, where the field is stacked different in the women's 100 meters than any other year Elaine has ever faced. And in the 200 meters as well, there's one woman that's killing it, that's much, much faster than her, that has done so multiple times. It's not just a one off run. Sharika has been able to consistently run super fast, right? So you have that to go up against as well. So you want to make sure that you get out there and you get going as quickly as possible and you don't waste any time. I think that even in the Olympic year, back in 2001, if I remember clearly, she did suffer injury setbacks up in the earlier part of the season as well. So it's nothing new and nothing strange, right? I'm just thinking that rather than, again, use in-house people, they have now decided to, okay, let's try to get a specialist in. Let's just deal with this and just get it over and done with, and then get my season back on track. So I'm not panicking just yet. I'm sad, yeah, and I really want her to be 100% for sure heading into the season. But I'm not panicking, because based on what I've typically heard about Elaine, then this is pretty normal, right? So anyway, Chuckies, let me hear your thoughts in the comment section now below. All right, Tracy has peeped over some more fences and brought us some bad news. News that we weren't asking for, to be fair. I don't think nobody wanted to hear this. He could have kept it to himself. Oh my gosh. Anyway, like the video, of course, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.